want to talk to Gage.
As a kid, I grew up playing Animal Crossing. I remember in that game you could fish all types of different sea life and capture them and collect them and hoard them in your house, but you could also put them in a museum. And while I remember being the only one between me and my brother that caught a piranha, and I remember this being a big moment for me, guys. I was on cloud 9 to the point where I just couldn't stand putting him in the museum. So I remember actually keeping him in my house, and I would notice how he would always swim towards me wherever I was at in the room. He would always kind of face my direction, follow me in his little tank. And I remember at one point I was scarred for life because I actually put him in the museum, and I felt really bad. I think I honestly cried over that because I missed him so much. So I would go visit him at the museum, and he would do the exact same thing, swimming towards me.
He's trying to get me.
That's all to say, I have some history piranhas. And so this morning I decided to sit down and watch Joe Dante's Piranha. This film honestly wasn't that bad. I was expecting it to be really mid, honestly, and kind of boring is what I was really expecting, because it's a freaking Jaws ripoff, guys. Like, is that really gonna be the cinema of the year? Turns out it's actually not half bad. I think the direction of this movie was pretty decent. Now, going in, I thought it was gonna be a much more campy, goofy film that was meant to go more in the horror comedy route, maybe more comedy than horror. Turns out this movie is actually taking itself fairly seriously. There's definitely some goofy concepts, of course, but these guys are kind of freaking creepy, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was a little spooked by these piranhas. Just, they're really aggressive and scary, and bro, they freaking chew through some people, okay? Like, this is some insane stuff. I will say that this movie definitely is, it's obviously riding on the coattails and the success of Jaws. Like, that, there's no denying that. That's absolutely the case. However, I just think this movie brings a little bit more to the table than maybe we're willing to admit sometimes. Like, you have to go into it knowing that it's not, you know, primarily there to be funny. You know, it's not there to be funny. It's not a movie it's gonna like make you laugh a bunch. I really got into the drama a little bit, you know, like the main character, you know, and the main two characters, the main two leads, I thought they were fun and charming. They had plenty of decent moments. And the dad character trying to get back to his daughter, you know, while it wasn't the most fleshed out relationship in the world, like far from it, but it was enough to keep me invested in wanting this little girl to survive and not die by freaking piranhas. So I honestly ultimately kind of enjoyed this movie. I'll be honest, maybe that's kind of a weird thing to hear, but I honestly didn't think it was all that bad. But there was also a really awful scene where a dude jumps off a raft to save a kid that's already like on a boat, but it's like the biggest waste of your life that I've ever seen. Like, it's the dumbest scene ever. So aside from that, and you know, like the idea presented in this movie is that they were basically developing piranhas to be like military weapons. I mean, of course they are. Like, that's freaking part of a lot of these, shall we say, B movies from this era. It's always some kind of military weapon or experiment. With all that being said, and considering everything about this movie, I had a good time, and it might be worth your time if you like Jaws and you kind of want a different flavor of that. Like I said, I honestly think this is a little bit more scary than Jaws. I think this would keep me out of the water more, because I mean, maybe that's just because like I don't live around the ocean and I don't swim in the ocean that often. Maybe it's that, but you know, Jaws never really freaked out if you don't really swim in the ocean that much. So it's like, all right, you know, like, yeah, it's a cool shark, but like, it's never gonna happen to me. These piranhas though, they're in the rivers, you know what I mean? Like, they're in the lakes. That's pretty freaky. So I recommend y'all go check this out. And yeah, with all that being said, I will see y'all next time. I'll be back.